Okay, so here is the clip. Mind you, I want y'all to take note. This is on It's On Site magazine. And I told y'all before, these publications like It's On Site, Spiritual World, and the Shade Room that are all Black owned, or at least the face of them is Black owned. From what I know, I believe these are all Black owned publications. I believe they are the feds. They are accepting some type of money because they on a daily basis choose to sow seeds of anger and discord and stoke racial division amongst Black people. They are constantly race baiting. They are constantly misinforming the community. They are constantly giving clips without context. It's like anything they can use to upset us and make us mad, they can. And the fact of the matter is this, that people know that all you have to do is make Black people emotional, and you're going to get the whatever reaction that you want from us. It's so easy to get because all you have to do is play on our emotions. They know that we're not going to go say, hey, this sounds a bit crazy. Let me go research it, or let me go listen to this entirely in its full context. And if somebody says something that I don't like, well, let me at least go try to see. Let me go look up the stats on it and see if it's true, because just because I don't like it doesn't mean that it's true. No, that's, people know that that's not how we operate, so they emotionally manipulate us. But can you blame the people that are emotionally manipulating us, or should you blame yourself for lacking emotional intelligence and self-control? Who is to blame in this situation, honestly and truly? Okay, so I'm going to show y'all, let me make myself small so y'all can see the headline real quick, because this is the type of games that they play, and I don't care. I will forever continue to tell Black people that these people play in our face all the time. It says, Donald Trump hurls insults at Republican Jasmine Crockett, calling her low IQ and suggesting Somalia should take her back. Now, when you just read this headline, it doesn't say anything about Ilhan Omar. So this says that Donald Trump called Jasmine Crockett low IQ and says that Somalia should take her back, as if she's not from here or he didn't know she was from here. This is absolutely not what happened. You know, the low IQ part, yes. The Somalia part, no. But people will read this headline alone without watching the full clip and without doing further investigation, and then they will take it and they will run with it. So these people know exactly what they're doing. People will begin to comment before they write the actual clip, and then before they go in and delete their comments, they won't even go back and delete it. They'll just be committed to it, and then people will all be in the comments hyping each other up and getting upset. This is terrible. So in the caption, it reads, during a rambling moment while taking questions at the White House, Donald Trump took aim at Jasmine Crockett, questioning if she's related to Davy Crockett. It was a joke, before calling her a very low IQ person. For those of y'all who don't know who Davy Crockett is, he's considered one of our forefathers in Texas. He fought at the Alamo. Jasmine Crockett is from Texas. It was a fitting joke, okay? Trump said he can't believe she is a congresswoman. I can't either. Lumping her in with Ilhan Omar and claiming he once suggests to the president of Somalia that he take her back, to which he says the leader replied, we don't want her. He probably did say that. Ilhan Omar cannot go to Somalia and say the things that she says in the United States. You know what's crazy to me? A lot of immigrants that come over here and they make it seem like America is such a bad country and that we're racist and that America needs to change and that America is a colonizer. When they go to their own countries that are ran by people that look like them, they would never have the platform to say the things that they say about their own country that they're allowed to say in the United States. Absolutely not. So the only reason why someone like Ilhan Omar can be in the United States and criticize us and criticize the president the way that she does, then I believe she should be allowed to. But let's be very clear. It's because you live in a country that allows it, because you can't go home and do that. So I believe Donald Trump when he said, they said we don't want her back. They don't. First of all, you're a woman. Let's start there. You're a woman. You're a Muslim woman. Okay. Trump remarks mocking Crockett's intelligence and implying she doesn't belong in America. That's not what he said. That's not, I will play the clip. Sparks backlash online, with many calling his comments racist and dangerous rhetoric against Black women in politics. You know, the usual for Trump. He didn't say anything about Black women. He was talking about Jasmine Crockett.
Recently.
Jasmine Crockett. Remember what I said? Is she a relation to the late great David Crockett? I don't think so. Jasmine Crockett, let me tell you, before you even ask.
Clearly a joke. Clearly a joke. Davy Crockett, Jasmine Crockett, Texas. Okay. Y'all got to learn how to take a joke. Just because you don't like somebody doesn't mean they're not joking.
She's a very low IQ person. I mean, if we ever had to pass an aptitude test, that's the one should take one, because she shouldn't even be in the crowd. So I have no idea what you're going to, but I don't think we should waste our time. This is a low IQ person who I can't even believe is a congressperson, between her and Ilhan Omar and the group. You know, I met the head of Somalia. Did you know that?
So clearly he switched from talking about Jasmine Crockett to Ilhan Omar.
And I suggested that maybe he'd like to take her back, and he said, I don't want her. Okay, what else? Go ahead. Yes, please.
Okay, so he didn't say anything about Jasmine Crockett. This says specifically, Trump's remarks mocking Crockett's intelligence and implying she doesn't belong in America. Did he say anything like that? Did he say anything like that? And this is why people insult our intelligence. I hate to say it that way. I hate to say it. But people know that when it comes to African American people, it is so easy to play in our heads. It's so easy to play in our emotions. All you have to do is write a headline and the majority will run with it, because he clearly made a switch from talking about Jasmine Crockett to Ilhan Omar, but you have It's On Site making it seem like he was talking about Jasmine Crockett in the big caption, right? I'm going to show it to you again. I'm not making this up. Donald Trump hurls insults at Republican Jasmine Crockett, calling her low IQ and suggesting Somalia should take her back. He clearly said Ilhan Omar's name, and he didn't even go from Ilhan Omar back to Jasmine Crockett. I mean, that's where the clip ended. It's insane. It's insane. But now, guess what? People will run with that. Donald Trump said Black women should go back to Africa. Donald Trump said Black women should go back to Somalia. No, Ilhan Omar is from Somalia. She's literally from Somalia. And it's being investigated whether or not she had a fraudulent marriage and married her brother to get papers. What's up, Jamal? Good to see you. Welcome back. I love Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib. I don't like either one of them. But I respect that you do. I just don't like either one of them. Again, because for somebody who talks a lot of crap about the United States, she can't go back to her own country and say, she can't go to her own country and criticize it the way that she does the United States. And I don't have a problem with her criticizing the United States. But at the same time, if you're going to criticize the United States, at least do so from good faith and from an informed perspective. And don't make it seem like we're the great evil of the world. That's correct. That's a treasonous act. Yeah. Immigrants need to change and conform to US or leave. Guess what? Guess what, Mitch? You're not wrong. And me, as somebody who travels to other countries, I don't come over here and tell them what they need to do with their country. Matter of fact, I try my best to stay out of politics and I ask the people what do they want or what they want to do. But you would never see, I would never even run for political office in another country because I kind of feel like that's not my right. I didn't grow up there. I don't have as much at stake. Even if I planted roots, I don't have as much at stake. I think after a while you should be allowed to vote in another country, granted that you've done certain things, but holding political office, that needs to be more for people who have had skin in the game their entire life. And I would like to see rules on that change. But they say all the time, here's the thing, we act like Americans are wrong when they say what you just said, Mitch. Immigrants need to change and conform to US or leave. I can't tell you how many times I have seen people in Latin America say the same thing about us gringos that come from the United States. There is not any country that you can go to on this earth where if there was mass immigration or even a little, these countries deal with a little bit of immigration compared to the United States. And you'll hear them saying the exact same thing that you're saying, Mitch. Oh, these gringos need to conform or go back home. And they don't deal with a quarter of the amount of immigration that the United States gets. But when the United States decides they want to set boundaries, all of a sudden they're wrong. We're colonizers, and everybody hates white people, as if the United States is not a multiracial country. If those countries were major powers, you could. If America were a second or third world country, it would be much more draconian. Yeah, but I get what you're saying, Jamal Johnson. No, because if you think about it, China is a major power, and you can't say everything you want to say in China. So China is China is a major world power, Russia as well. So no, the United States is like a great experiment in terms of people being able to have free speech, burning flags. No, you cannot. But these people would not be in Russia behaving the way that they behave here in the United States, and I think they should be allowed to. But also give our country credit for that. Give our country credit for that. The U.S. needs an anti-Sharia law on the books. Yeah, I think so too. It's completely against Western values, and people could say that's Islamophobic. I do not care. Because there's nothing about Sharia law or anything akin to it that I would want to live under. Okay, let's continue. All right, so I want to show y'all this video that I saw on Cartier family, and this is about basically some people tried to come, some political commentators, activists tried to come on an HBCU campus and have a conversation, and they came with MAGA hats. I personally think they have a right to do that, but this shows a lack of understanding about the culture, because anybody could have told you that it was going to go left. It's gonna go left, period. That was ignorant. I would have threw something at him if I heard him say that. I don't care for Jasmine Crockett, but I might crash out for Ilhan Omar. I mean, was it ignorant? If the president, now he's saying in the public eye that the president of Somalia said that he don't want her back. So that publicly gives the leader of Somalia the opportunity to, on a world stage, say, I never said that. Now, if the dude said that, is that wrong and ignorant? Is it wrong and ignorant? Now, he might have should have kept it to himself. And honestly and truly, I feel like Donald Trump shouldn't even entertain them. You know, this should be a situation where just, first of all, Jasmine Crockett, it's unlikely that she'll win re-election due to the redistricting that passed in Texas. It's very unlikely that she'll win her seat. So she's a non-factor. And that's what Donald Trump was saying in this clip. Like, she's low IQ. Why are you even asking me about her, right? But honestly, he should have handled this situation like Mariah Carey. Who y'all know how Mariah Carey be handling them? She be like, "Who? Give me a second, y'all. I need to plug my laptop back up. Give me 1 second. Give me a second." Okay, guys, I'm sorry. Yeah, Mariah Carey be like, "Who?" But here's the thing. I mean, to be fair, Jasmine Crockett always has Donald Trump's name in her mouth. She's called him Putin's hoe. She said all kind of stuff about him, right? And I know people are like, "Well, we expect the leader of the free world to be more mature." That is not who the majority. We knew who Donald Trump was before he got elected. And if you didn't vote for him, then I understand your criticism. But again, if Jasmine Crockett can dish it, she can take it. And she said far worse about Donald Trump. As far as Ilhan Omar, she has also talked shit about Donald Trump. So it just is what it is. I can't help it that Donald Trump is funnier than me. Right? And if Jasmine Crockett doesn't want to be called low IQ, she should actually make arguments that she can prove. She should actually make arguments that when you go to fact check them, the facts pan out. All she does is speak from a place of emotion. It kind of reminds me of, do y'all remember when Amanda Seals did that one radical liberal versus like 20 black conservatives? And I saw, like, when you went, it's so crazy how people perceive things, because when you went on the Shade Room or It's on Site, all the black people were like, "Yeah, she ate all of them alive," and they were fighting for their lives. And I'm like, did y'all actually watch the whole thing? Because not one, they were Jubilee, who was supposed to be a neutral party, was fact checking the hell out of her. And she was wrong about everything that she was saying. So even if you thought she was making a good point, which I didn't think she was making any good points, the facts didn't bear out anything she was saying. The facts didn't prove anything that she was saying. So not only were the conservatives dragging her, the fact checkers were dragging her. She lost. That was disgustingly racist. What was racist? For him to say she should go back to Somalia? I'm not going to say it's racist because she was from Somalia. Do y'all okay, let me say this. Maybe we're not going to see eye to eye. Or maybe I could be wrong for saying that. Maybe I'm a little bit desensitized to certain things, because as an American, when I go to other countries, I hear people say the exact same things about foreigners. Do y'all understand? So maybe I'm desensitized. Maybe it is wrong to say this, that somebody should go back to their country, right? Maybe it is wrong. Now, I think it's wrong when people tell Black folks to go back to Africa, because I'm not from Africa. I think it's wrong when I think it's stupid to tell somebody who was born in the United States to go back to a country that their ancestors were from. But like Ilhan Omar is from Somalia. And if she dislikes the way we do things in the United States so much, she has another option if she thinks that would be better. She doesn't have to be here. And as somebody who has been living abroad for over a year now, I know that at any time I'm uncomfortable where I'm at, I can use my American passport and get on if I think that that is going to be a better option for me. I stay out of these people's business is what I'm saying. Correct. And who does that? I love my sister. I don't want to marry my sister. Yeah. I mean, that's how deep the fraud, like, and again, I don't think she had anything incestuous going on with her brother, but I mean, that's if you've been around immigrant communities, the fraud runs deep in terms of fraudulent relationships, marriages, falsifying documents. I know illegal immigrants who have falsified their age. They falsified their. I've known so many, and I'm not saying they're bad people, but people will do whatever it takes to make sure they get papers over here. But my whole thing is, if that's something that she did, why would you run for public office where people, to me, that's just so bold. That's disrespectful. Like, I'm not even mad at sis for trying to falsify documents for citizenships. I'm more irritated at the fact that you were bold enough to run for office after you did that, because you just didn't respect this country enough to think anybody was going to look into it. I would have respected it more if she stayed low key. If you know the way that you obtained your citizenship here was not all the way by the book, you need to be laying low. You need to be slow driving that thing. So the fact that not only is the way that you obtained your citizenship into question, you are loud about your criticism of our country, and you might not even be in a position to even be here, girl. Like, you might be getting deported for real. The truth about Jasmine Crockett, she doesn't even take care of her own district. Slow Ryan, do you know how I know what you're saying is true? Before I left in 2024, I lived in Jasmine Crockett's district. I went here and talked about that district several times. It is a mess. The education is terrible. The crime rate is high over there. Potholes in roads over there. And again, that's more things that need to be handled at a state level, like a local level, to be honest. But you only need to take a visit over there to understand how somebody like Jasmine Crockett could get elected. That's all I'm gonna say. I was a teacher in that district. I lived in that district. I was a part of that community. And she has bigger fish to fry. Honestly and truly. She just wants to be the center of attention and grab the bag and get in line with all the corruption that's going on. Exactly. And again, here's again, I love my Black people, but there's a certain type, this Black excellence crowd, who really look down on other Black people who didn't go to college and are not constantly boasting about all their accomplishments. Like, there are, or like our whole 3 or 4 degrees. And again, I think it's a wonderful thing if you went to school and you have 3 or 4 degrees, and it's not an easy thing to do. So if you did that, I'm not talking down, I'm not hating on it or anything like that. But like, let's be clear, as somebody who went to college myself, and I did it like just barely scraping, like it wasn't a big deal. I didn't have to work as hard as everybody else to do it. The only thing that separates people who went to college versus people who didn't go to college is not even necessarily IQ. I didn't meet people in college and feel like I'm surrounded by a lot of intelligent people. I've met people who didn't go to college who have far more intelligence and are able to see patterns and adapt to their environment far better than many people that I went to college with. The only difference between people who went to college and people who didn't go to college is that a lot of people who went to college are just better at, college is a measure of whether or not you can complete something, whether you'll sit down, have the discipline to do the work, and turn it in. That's it. If you just show up, that's half of the work in college. And then if you do the work and turn it in, 9 times out of 10, you're going to pass with a degree, even if you turned in crappy work. That's just the honest to God truth.